Hi, I this is Temitope Olastimonu. I am an author and child educator, also a reading tutor. Joining me on this series, you are going to be reading a very special book. I said in my introductory video that one of my biggest inspirations, is Dr. Ben Carson. I actually do have a lot of other inspirations, real life personalities that you get to read about, so you find that they also where all those who have passed and those who are still with us, they're very much human with similar struggles and challenges. And one of the biggest of attraction for me is the transformation from zero to hero level. Dr. Ben Carson quite encapsulates that. So if you're a young person, you're going through challenges, you're wondering if you're ever going to make it in life, Dr. Ben Carson is definitely able to figure. He was tagged the dumbest kid in the 5th grade, and now is a phenomenally intelligent personality. He's also a brain surgeon, a neurosurgeon. So very quickly, we're going to go to the book today, and I'll be sharing my encouragement from this book. How We Got Smart, chapter 4. Yes, I'm starting with chapter 4 because it touches on very peculiar issues you might want to start with. We did not know what to think the next day when mother started cutting me down and began to say, "You remember when I told you I was going to pray and ask the Lord to give me wisdom about what to do with your grades?" Like we could have ever forgotten that. We thought of little else since. "Yes, ma'am," we assured her. I had been dying to hear what God had said, but now I wasn't so sure I wanted to know. "I did pray," she said. "Well, I believe God gave me the wisdom I needed." She looked a little uncertain about how to put into words what she was going to say next, as if we probably wouldn't want to hear it. This couldn't be good. "The wisdom I believe God gave me was this," she told us. "We're going to start by turning off the television, and from now on, you may watch 2 or 3 shows each week." When we grown, she quickly added, "You get to choose the shows, but 3 times per week is it? And you will use all that extra time you have for reading." Oh man, I couldn't believe this. That doesn't even sound reasonable, let alone wise. I was about to voice my protest, but mother wasn't finished yet. "You can also choose what to read, at least 2 books each week. Then I expect you to write 2 book reports on the books you read and present those reports out loud to me." This was worse than I ever imagined. I'm going to stop there. Since I'm recommending this text, I also recommend that you get it. You can also contact us if you want to get a copy of this. We'll deliver it to you. But what are the key highlights for me? One of the things you get to find out in this book is that Sonia Carson, who is Dr. Becky Carson's mother, was uneducated as at the time. She stopped in the 3rd grade. She could hardly read herself. And because of this challenge, unknown to her children, she could hardly read. And because of this challenge, she didn't want her boys to turn out like her. She was a single mother, had a lot of challenges, working, trying to make ends meet, and seeing your life replay before you in the lives of your children is a nightmare no mother, no parent ever wants to go through. And so she spoke to God about it, and God told her, they have to stop watching TV as much as they do. And he grew. He and his brother Curtis, they grew from being people deemed as dumb to becoming people who were so versatile and well read because of what their mother had advised them. So they would often go to the library and all of that. And then Dr. Ben Carson started by his areas of interest, reading his area of interest in the library. Started reading about animals, rocks, stones. Started having a collection of stones. And so interestingly, a little boy who was termed the dumbest kid, they were going to talk about rocks in science in class that day. And the teacher brought a piece of rock to class, and was like, "Okay, who can identify this rock?" Everybody, of course, went numb. It was a rock that nobody knew. There are rocks. We have a lot of rocks everywhere, pieces of stones. We don't know their names, and so it was actually an introduction to the subject. But interestingly, because Dr. Ben Carson had been reading in the library, following the advice of his mother, this previously thought to be dumb child put up his hands. Actually, was waiting for the smart kids in class to put up their hand first. And and he knew the answer because he had been studying, he had been reading. They had cut off TV time and substituted with going to the library, and he'd been reading. And all of a sudden, the smart kids in class, they didn't even know what the rock was called. And so he put up his hands, and it was like obsidian. That's the name of the rock. I'd advise you to go and check obsidian, what it means. And so he was smart, and he realized that he never would have known that except he had read, which he did. And so the teacher was actually pretty impressed with Dr. Ben Carson. And so after class, Ben Carson went to meet his teacher, and a relationship started. And he realized that, oh, wait a minute, if I could know this, in science, that means if I read all my subjects ahead of time, I'll be smarter than everybody else. And so really, philosophy says that we're all born plain slates. That means that your brain is really empty as much as the next person until you put some information into it. So that kid in class that's smarter than you, that person who seems to know so much, didn't really come from heaven like that. There's a computer language that says garbage in, garbage out, giggle. What you put in is what you get. Just like the ATM machine, it has to be filled with cash before you be able to withdraw from it. So do not think anybody's exceptionally brilliant naturally, but give your brain a try. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.